Okay, guys. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's put it out there. Um, I have a mental illness. I have good days and I have bad days. But with my bad days, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes the depression hits me very hard. And as much as I want to fight through it, I can't. And that's not to say that's no like life ending spiel or nothing like that. I would have thought that people would have understood that based on what I've said before. Um, my hair is crazy. I didn't do anything special with it. The point being is, I want you guys to understand that my mental illness didn't drive itself. There were people that were a part of it, there were things that were a part of it, there were events that were a part of it. And then to know that you've lost pretty much everything, it's kind of one of those. When I say everything, I don't think about like the people whose homes were lost and things like that. I'm talking about me, the things that affect me. And when you feel the way I do and you can't seem to understand it because you're watching from the outside, imagine what it's like for me. Imagine what my heart feels, what my mind thinks. Today I had a visit from the police because somebody called for a welfare check. I didn't initially know what that was. I was just taking a nap. My son is with my in-laws today, and I was sleeping probably the best sleep I've had in a long time. I had a really good cry. I tried to scoop myself back up. I took a nap, and then, yeah, I was asleep. I was happy. I took my meds as prescribed. Well, sort of. The one med is switching to a nighttime med. Because of the way our healthcare system is, I can't really afford all the meds that I'm on. And I can't afford to go to the counselor like I'm supposed to. And I know everybody's like, the free services, but I know what the free services are, and even I don't qualify. So I guess what this video is to say is, for one, number one, I'm alive. Number two, I have no intention of taking my life. Number three, what I said in my post was right. I nearly died on a table, and I had family members who chose to delete me off of Facebook. They didn't check in to see if I was okay. And I'm not saying this just has to be family, but when people who you haven't talked to in years upon years, other than the occasional thumbs up on their post on Facebook or something, and they're the ones that are worried about you, it really makes you think. Like, am I such a horrible family member that they didn't want to be family with me? And I guess that's just something I'm going to live with. That is something that Lucy, my dog is drinking, I apologize. Stone is here doing DPT because when I was startled awake by the police officers at my door banging on my windows and my doors, it sent me into a panic attack. I have a fear of somebody trying to break into our house, especially a fear of men for some reason, and I don't really know what that is. I'm still exploring why that is. Maybe it's because of the sexual assault I suffered in high school. Maybe it's because of the way I've been treated over the years. Maybe it's just for the fact that we've actually had somebody try to break into our house once before. I don't know, but I was so scared even once they said who they were, that I couldn't get myself out of a ball. I had a seizure. I desperately tried to text to get somebody to help me. And I just don't think that people really understand. I'm going to put my arm down a little bit. It's getting a little shaky. I know it's not the best angle, whatever. I don't care at this point. I guess my thing is I'm not the kind of person to show weakness. I'm not the kind of person to reach out. I knew who my support systems were, and I know that things have changed. I know that I've changed. And with that, I guess people don't like it. For once, I've tried to be true to myself, and I basically ended up almost going to a psych ward because I was trying to be myself. I I'm mentally feeling much better. I needed that good long cry, and sometimes that's what you need. And sometimes you just need love and support. And sometimes, I'm gonna put my arm back up again. Sometimes people who are struggling with their mental health, they don't see your love as love. They can't feel it. Not always, not everybody. But for me, it's hard. I have lost a lot in the last year, and I know I keep saying that. But then the flip side is it's a new year. And I think it's time that I be true to myself and rediscover who I am and feel good about it. I shouldn't have to feel ashamed. I shouldn't have to feel like trash by the way I was treated. I shouldn't be fearful of leaving my home. And I'm not quite sure what else I need to say. I will say that I have no intention, I think I've said it already, no intention of harming myself or others. The fact that someone could believe that that would be the case, or that when somebody sees just a mess, that they assume that I'm the one that did it, that I'm the one that went crazy and destroyed everything. And I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm going to be okay. I can't keep living the same life. I can't keep dealing with the same stresses, the same negativity. all of that. You know, I wanted nothing more than to get my YouTube channel to pop off because I thought that I had something that people wanted to hear. But if I can't even say the things that I feel to those who are supposed to be a part of my support system, how am I supposed to tell the world? What is the world going to think? As much as I don't want to think about what everybody else thinks about me, it's human nature. I fought long and hard to be something better, something that my mom wouldn't be ashamed of, and that my family wouldn't be ashamed of. Struggled financially for years, and I always am just this close to making it. And then something bad happens, and my mind resets. It doesn't know what else to do. It leaves me in a state of paralysis, either mutism, actual paralysis, thinking about where my life is going in these upcoming years. Let me switch positions just a little bit here. I'll rest you on stone so you get a better angle. I guess what people have said about me is true. I'm mentally ill. I'm physically ill. I have chronic pain. I have chronic illness. I have a service dog. Whether nobody or anybody wants to admit it or not, I needed it. And I've always thought that I've had people that were best friends, and throughout time they've disappeared. And others I've pushed away because I wasn't good for them or they weren't good for me. It's not even that. I've never really thought that a friend wasn't good for me. It's just come to be that I'm not good for anybody else. And I know that this can be a hard thing for people to understand, and the way the media plays it out, you know, crazy people are dangerous. Mentally unstable people are dangerous. Mentally ill people are dangerous. And if you voice your opinion even at all, then they want to lock you down for it. They want to say that you're unsafe and that you'll hurt yourself. I don't hurt myself like that. I may give myself piercings, or I might get tattoos, but I didn't slit my wrist. Just to prove a point here, didn't slit my wrist. I didn't jab out my heart. I didn't shoot myself. I didn't do anything like that, because that's not the person I am. That's not what my message is. I have a tattoo that I got with a friend, and it's supposed to remind me that my story's not over. But I do think it's time to start a new chapter. And in that chapter, I cut people out, because I don't want to call them toxic or whatever. They clearly have their own things going on, and I'm just not important enough for them to care. I know this has been quite a long video, but I think that it was an important one. My husband and my mom and my dad and my grandma tell me all the time how much they love me. And I want to believe it. But my brain doesn't necessarily always believe it. And my heart is filled with such darkness. Not the evil kind, just the kind of feeling like there can't be anything better. That this is how I will live out the rest of my life, with myself and this house, and dreams that I can't make come true because I don't know how to get started. Oops, my dog is moving. He's sensing something. Every time I try to take a step forward, I end up getting knocked down a lot of pegs. And it hurts. I've been so hurt for so long. And I think I've just reached a whole new level. There's no more of myself that I can give. I've always been the defender. I've always been the supporter. I've always been the defender. I've always been the supporter. When I see people that are down, I try to pick them up. I'd rather take care of others than take care of myself. And that's not a I hate myself type of thing, as much as I just wish more people did kind things and said kind things. And I'm tired of all the censorship. Like, you put a thought out there, you put a word out there, and if you're labeled as mentally ill, then everybody assumes that you are out to kill yourself or kill somebody else, or that you need to be locked up. And yeah, that's not the case. I was hoping that I would be the one to be able to do more for others, to put my story out there and guide people who are feeling the same way that I feel, to teach people how to treat people. Because I worry about how my son is going to grow up in this world. And I worry about how I'm supposed to go out in the world when I'm so fearful. I worry that my family can't handle it. And I worry that my husband will leave and that he'll take our son. I worry about losing those I'm closest to, but that's too late. I do a lot of worrying. It's a part of this. I can't blame it all on mental health. Some of it is just my personality. Some of it is just the things that I see and I go through. And all the secret keeping, the lies, the don't tell such and such that I said this, and then they turn around and tell such and such. I spend a lot of time making sure that I try to make it to see people or spend time with people. But there's never anybody at my home. There's nobody ever visiting me here. And I think that's okay. Because I'm a defender. I defend those that are weak. And when I'm weak, I will defend myself. All this time, my entire life, I've been in training for this moment. This moment where I decide that I am the keeper of myself, that I am the only one who can change things, who can make things happen. I don't want to be the victim all the time. I don't want my careers to be taken from me, which they already have. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there like me that struggle and go through the same thing, but they're afraid to tell anyone or to show anyone because, unlike me, when I share, I get not great responses. How about that? How about that? That girl kills me. This was a long, rambly video. What else? I think that's all for now. And this video isn't edited. It's got the long pauses in it. It's got my distractions in it. But I don't really care. Because this is me. And I know I'm a lot stronger than the way I portray myself. I just like to use that energy to help other people, but I'm not sure how to do it. Because when I show interest in things, I can't make it happen, whether it be financial or can't find a place to really do it, or I build something up and it just crumbles down around me. I think this is where I'm going to stop it. Most of you have already clicked out by this point. Finding yourself is hard. For those who've never had to deal with it, you probably don't understand it all. But for those of you who have had to think about who you are and really had to dig deep, you know, you understand. Also, this isn't an invitation to check on me now or to come to me now. It's too late for that, and I have to move on. I have to do what's best for me, which is defending my heart and letting the sunlight shine back in. Because without the darkness, we'd never see the light. Isn't that right? Peace out.